The Supreme Court is considering a case that could have huge implications for the Affordable Care Act. It's questioning whether insurers are required to cover preventative care services for no charge under the ACA.
The case centered around the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, or USPSTF for short. It's a federal government body that makes recommendations on which preventive services patients should receive and how often. Under the Affordable Care Act, all public and private insurers are required to cover at no charge to patients any service that the task force recommends. The case was brought by some Christian employers who don't want to have to cover certain services recommended by the USPSTF, like PrEP for patients at risk of contracting HIV, because it goes against their religious beliefs. The employers are arguing that the task force is unconstitutional because its members are not appointed by the president nor confirmed by the Senate. They say that as a result, employers and insurers should be able to ignore the task force recommendations and decide for themselves which preventive services they will cover for free. And if this requirement were to be struck down, it would mean that insurers wouldn't have to completely cover important screenings for things like colon cancer and lung cancer, or cholesterol-lowering medications to prevent heart disease. Georges Benjamin, MD, executive director of the American Public Health Association, said that if the Supreme Court rules that the task force is unconstitutional, quote, this means more cancer, more heart disease, more strokes, more complications for pregnancy, more drug misuse, and frankly, more preventable deaths. The justices asked both sides a lot of questions about what it meant for the task force to be, quote, independent and what kind of supervision it has. Justice Brett Kavanaugh made a comment to the lawyer representing the employers that seemed very significant.
Your theory, I think, depends on us treating the task force as this massively important agency that operates with unreviewable authority to make really critical decisions that are going to affect the economy, and without any supervision.
He added that this was not a reasonable interpretation of the task force's job. We're expecting a decision from the court in June.